So the real question is, how can we, as entrepreneurs, health experts, and personal development gurus who want balance in our lives and aren't content to sit on the sidelines, limiting our full potential in body, connection, power, and wealth, help you live your full potential in life? That's exactly what we are talking about today. I'm Dr. Amelia.
And I'm Dr. Jeremy. Welcome to Transforming Self. Hey everyone, and welcome to our fourth episode of Transforming Self with Dr. Amelia and Dr. Jeremy. We're going to review our 4 core philosophy, and Amelia's going to start.
All right, so our first philosophy is body. So this is movement, nutrition, stress reduction, detoxing, chiropractic care, acupuncture, anything you are doing to your body to keep it performing at an optimal level. So just anything you do that's helping you function and perform better and just feel better in your body. The next one is connection. So what are you doing to connect with those around you? Are you connecting with your spouse, your children, yourself? Are you connecting with friends and family? Are you connecting with the people in your life and not allowing outside distractions to sedate you or to disconnect you?
The third is power. Are you truly fulfilled and happy? Are you acknowledging your feelings, whether good or bad? Are you sedating yourself or facing challenges head on? This is all about mental well-being and spiritual health. And last is wealth. For some, this can be the most uncomfortable area of your life. We believe we are undeserving of having money or financial success. Some of us don't even know where to start, whether it's with investing or creating a budget. We're going to discuss what wealth really is it having extra time with your family and loved ones, and to connecting with financial freedom. Today we're discussing power. What fills us up, what makes us happy. I've struggled with this for a long time. I feel like I'm all over the place at times, not knowing really what truly makes me happy, what hobbies I really enjoy. I kind of do a little bit of everything, but I've really started to define what's filling my cup. And I ask everyone to just really dive into this and truly ask yourself, what makes you fulfilled? What brings you happiness?
Because if you're not being fulfilled or if you aren't happy with your life, those around you aren't going to be happy because you're not going to put your best foot forward. You're not going to present yourself in the best light or the best manner. Again, as I said in the first episode, it's about putting the oxygen mask on yourself first and really knowing who you are. And this can take a lot of work. It can take a lot of really uncomfortable, deep work to truly recognize who you are and what you need, and then not being afraid to ask for what you need or not being afraid to communicate with your partner your needs and your wants and your desires. A tool that I have used in the past is the 5 love languages. So you can go to 5lovelanguages.com and you can figure out what your love language is. That way you can show your partner the results and that your partner will know who you are a little bit better. So the 5 love languages are the words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, physical touch, and quality time. My number 1 is words of affirmation. So by Jeremy knowing that words of affirmation is my love language and that brings me power to have words of affirmation, my second one was physical touch. So him knowing that, he can kind of cater his love for me around those. And that's what makes me feel powerful, with our relationship, is him knowing my love languages.
Yes, and Amelia, which one do you think I do best of your top 2?
I would say physical touch. You're a little better at than words of affirmation.
For some odd reason, it's something I've always struggled with. I look at my wife; she's beautiful. I see her. I see her walking around, and I think that in my head, but the words don't come out of my mouth. And that's really not fair to her because she doesn't know. She can't read my mind, and that's something we've had numerous discussions about, and it's something I still struggle to work on. I struggle with. I need to continue to work on this and make sure I'm acknowledging that because it does make a difference.
And that's part of connection. We talked about connection last week and we went into power a little bit, but connection and power, they're kind of related and they're also very separate. So, knowing what I need out of Jeremy and what I need as far as love goes is, I think, one, powerful, and it does bring us closer with connection.
Yes. And with power, what other people say and do for us does make us feel fulfilled, but we really have to look at ourselves. What do we do as a person to fill our cup? Yes. What are we doing? A lot of times, yes, it is with others, but we really have to dig deep. And a thing that I really struggle with at times is probably my spiritual health. I mean, I've tried meditation. I don't want to do it for some reason, but I've gotten better. Apps help. Let's just put it that way. Mm-hmm. Calm is the app I use. And really, I just started off, I try to do 3 minutes a day. And adding breathing exercises has really helped because it kind of gives me something to do as I'm trying to clear my mind. And I suggest everyone start to work on this and figure out, where you're at. Maybe it's just simply prayer. I mean, prayer is a huge form of spiritual health, obviously. And some of us do that better than others. You don't necessarily have to meditate, but what I've found that's really helped me is to just add those breathing exercises in, and I can seem to get through it a lot better.
And just connecting with source, connecting with, whatever you call it, God, the universe, innate, everybody has a different word, but connecting with that, connecting with what you believe in, brings a lot of power into your life. It fills your cup. It makes you feel happy and fulfilled. For me, connecting with my source is being outside, like being barefoot in the dirt. Like, I really like that. It's very grounding. I feel very grounded and just very powerful when I'm outside barefoot. A little bit of a hippie child, I guess.
And I'm one to work in nature. Growing up on the farm, working outside, hard physical labor, that truly fulfills me. If I can have a day's work outside, I enjoy it. It's hard for me to quit. I don't even stop for lunch. I mean, sometimes I
make him sometimes.
I just have to slow down, but I'm truly happy. I'm enjoying myself and I'm getting things accomplished. It's definitely fulfilling for me to do that, especially working in an office all week. It's nice to get outside, do something a little different. Still working with my hands and being creative. It's very fulfilling.
So let's do something a little bit different. Let's play a little game called How Well Do You Know Your Spouse? But before we do that, maybe we should have a word from our sponsors so we don't have to interrupt our fun game.
That is great. Our sponsor, once again, our sponsor this week is Green Road to Health. The finest THC-free CBD products coming from the finest ingredients, including U.S.-grown hemp. Find Green Road to Health products at greenroadtohealth.com.
All right, so we're talking about power. And there are different things in my life that make me feel powerful and fulfilled and fill my cup and bring me joy. And there's different things in Jeremy's life that make him feel the same way. So we're going to see how well we know each other. So Jeremy, what are 3 things that bring me power in life?
I would say exercising, going to the gym, lifting heavy weights. I think another big one is cooking for others, feeding others. I think that really fulfills you.
Yeah, those are actually really good answers. So I'm just going to kind of touch on each of those real quick and tell everybody about it. So I really do enjoy speaking. That's something that I've started to do this last year. Public speaking for some is very scary, and while I get nervous before I get on stage, I feel very powerful speaking my truth and telling my story because I feel like my story is a story full of transformation and making myself better and pulling myself out of some really, really dark times. Lifting weights, I love to work out. I've started running more, and for a long time I've despised running, but I'm actually starting to enjoy it, and that's something that Jeremy and I do together, even though he's faster than me, which sometimes pisses me off. I do enjoy running with him, but I really enjoy lifting heavy weights. Lifting weights makes me feel very powerful and just very strong. And being strong is important to me. And then also cooking. I do usually like to cook. Sometimes after work, I'm tired and kind of grumpy and don't want to cook. But I love feeding people. I think, acts of service is one way that I show love to people. And being able to feed people and have them gather around my table or gather outside and just talk and connect over food is really important to me as well. Very good answers.
Now, Amelia, what do you think fills my cup?
I think one for you is being a provider. I think you are a very good provider, and I feel like that makes you feel good about who you are and fills your cup, is to be able to provide for me and our family and give us everything that we need. Another thing that I feel like fills your cup is running. I don't feel like that's always been the case. It used to be basketball, which I think still does. You just don't do it anymore since you ruptured your Achilles. Golf, I think, fills your cup, but that's going under running. So running really, and then some of those other things. Right. And then, this is maybe a silly one, I think being the DJ. And it's kind of silly, but you love kind of being the DJ. You love having music on. Music, I think maybe is one of them that fills your cup.
Definitely.
When we would go on the boat all the time, you were always a DJ. You were always playing music. I mean, sometimes everybody else would be out doing things, and you would be on the boat changing the music up. So
creating my playlist.
That's right. Create your playlist. So music, I think, fills your cup.
Interesting. That is true, and that's one I haven't thought of, but music's very important to me. And my playlist is wide and long.
Uh-huh.
I think the reason music fills my cup is I like listening to the songs and connecting that to my life or connecting that to a moment, typically that made me feel really good, So yeah, music is definitely one, because I do have it on a lot. I do like the sound of nature, but every once in a while you got to mix it up. Running really has become an important part of my life. I've always tried to do it throughout life. And when I mean running, in high school, I was a sprinter. Never wanted to run long distance. I felt awful when I did it, but I never honestly gave it a try. And throughout my young adult life, I tried from time to time, but still struggled. 3 years ago, started a run group. And part of it was accountability. I was like, if I start this run group, it's going to force me to run at least 2 times a week when we meet. And we started the Facebook page, so I got to make sure I do it again because we're trying for a minimum of 3. But running has become a time to think, to push my body in a different way. It's easy on the basketball court. You push your body for a minute or 2 at a time, then you get a little break. And that's always fit into my wheelhouse, and I felt real comfortable with it. Running helped get me out of my comfort zone, which is part of growing, as we know. Being a provider, absolutely. There is no doubt about it, but I think this is one that also gets me in trouble because I may focus on business too much and I'm not getting that balance through my other core philosophies. But being a provider gives me that feeling of power, and not power over people, but just the power of taking care of people, which I definitely enjoy to do.
Very good. Well, power is very important. And I know sometimes people think of the word power and they think of all the negative things that surround the word power, like people in power or people having power over people. But for us, that isn't what power means. Like I said,
it's power over yourself.
That's right. And with me, weightlifting makes me feel super powerful and strong, and being able to cook, makes me feel powerful because I'm taking control of what I want to do. And part of growing as a person is knowing what doesn't make you feel powerful or doesn't fill your cup, and learning to say no, which is really hard. Yeah. I think sometimes it's harder for women. It's harder for women sometimes than men, I think. But learning to say no is something that I've had to kind of take control of because I was a people pleaser. I still am, but I used to be a really big people pleaser, and I would just say yes to everything and then regret it and not want to do it. And it would be hard for me to have to follow through with what I said yes, but being impeccable with your word is really important. And so if you say yes to something, I feel very strongly to try to follow through. So being able to take a step back and maybe tell the person, let me think about it, and not just saying yes right away, is something that's very powerful in your life, and that can bring you a lot of power. And saying no to the things that you just don't want to do or don't bring you fulfillment or don't make you happy. It's important.
There's no doubt. And I'm a people pleaser also. But I am learning to take control of the things I don't necessarily want to do, but don't fit into my values of connecting with my family, if it's interrupting with that time, I will say no. But, I still enjoy helping others, but it has to fit into my time schedule, not theirs. And that, once again, brings you power. It fulfills you, and you're taking control of your life, which is sometimes very hard to do. So what do you think is some good homework or an assignment for our listeners to give a try, an exercise?
So I want everybody to sit down and think about what makes them feel fulfilled in life. What makes you feel powerful? List 5 things and maybe a couple sentences to go along with those 5 things, and just really think about it. And then I want you to think about what doesn't bring you power in your life, or what doesn't make you feel fulfilled in life. And write those down as well. And then look and see where they are occurring in your life, because they are. Even if you don't see it, they are occurring, and try to cut those out. Try to have a little more control over what doesn't make you happy and what doesn't bring you power. And, you can't put work doesn't make me happy. Okay, but if work doesn't make you happy, then find a job that does make you happy. But be realistic. What doesn't bring you power? Do you have a friend maybe that's toxic, and everything they post on social media or everything they say to you is negative? Maybe it's time to really think about some of those relationships also, because relationships can either bring you up or bring you down. They can give you power or they can drain your power. So really think about some of that stuff in your life.
I think it's important. And yes, look at what you're doing, analyze your day, your week, and point out those things that just don't satisfy you as much. It doesn't mean you have to eliminate those altogether, because as Amelia said, it's not always possible. We have to be realistic, but we can start the process. We can start chipping away. This is an evolving, everything we talk about, you evolve. It doesn't have to be a black and white or a complete 180. We do it over time.
All right. Well, that's all we have for you today. Stay tuned for our next episode, which will be all about wealth. This will be a really, really good episode. And until next time, be courageous.
Again, we want to thank you for joining us today, and we want to encourage you to join our Facebook group. We want to connect with you, we want to hear from you, and we really want to get an understanding of what's happening in your lives. Our Facebook group is Transforming Self with Drs. Jeremy and Amelia Rodrock, and we're going to make sure and post that link in our show notes. Take care.
Bye.